Karen hacked a missile guidance system, now she's wanted worldwide. The control room at Ellsworth Air Force Base was a fortress of humming servers and glowing screens, a place where split-second decisions held the world's fate. It was 4:37 a.m., and the South Dakota sky outside was just beginning to blush with dawn. I was hunched over a terminal, my eyes gritty from a 12-hour shift, when the first anomaly pinged a glitch in the missile guidance system that shouldn't have been possible. My gut told me this wasn't a random bug. It was the start of a nightmare. I'm Riley Harper, a 26-year-old cybersecurity specialist with 4 years in the Air Force and a talent for untangling digital chaos. I've patched vulnerabilities that could have sparked wars, but nothing prepared me for Karen Ellison. Karen, 48, was a civilian contractor, a systems analyst brought on to audit our network security. She had a razor-sharp mind and a tongue to match, always quick with a critique or a complaint. Karen was the kind who'd argue with a general over protocol and win through sheer audacity. Off base, she was a local legend for stirring trouble suing a coffee shop over a misspelled name, shutting down a charity run for permit issues. On base, she was tolerated because her audits were flawless, but I'd been watching her. For weeks, she'd been asking too many questions about our missile guidance system, Project Trident, a classified network controlling ICBMs with pinpoint accuracy. I'd flagged her to my CO, Major Chen, but Karen's charm and credentials disarmed suspicion. "She's just thorough," Chen said. I wasn't convinced. That morning, I was running diagnostics on Trident's firewall when the console flickered. A line of rogue code scrolled across my screen, rewriting itself faster than I could track. Alarms blared low at first, then a deafening wail. I yanked the network cable, but it was too late. The main screen lit up with a map missile trajectories veering off course, arcing towards civilian targets Moscow, Beijing, London. My heart stopped. This wasn't a glitch. It was sabotage. I sprinted to the server room, badge swiping me through 3 security doors. There she was, Karen, alone, her fingers flying over a console. The room was a wrecked, servers smoking, cables severed, a fire extinguisher smashed on the floor. She'd bypassed the biometric locks with a stolen admin keycard. "Karen, what are you doing?" I shouted, my voice cracking. She didn't even look up. "Fixing your pathetic system, Riley, or maybe breaking it. Depends on who pays more." Her voice was calm, almost amused, as the screens behind her flashed red. I lunged for the console, but she'd locked me out, my own credentials disabled. "You're insane," I said, grabbing my radio. "This is treason." Karen laughed, a cold, sharp sound. "Treason. This is business? Trident's worth billions on the dark web. I've got bidders in 3 continents." She tapped a USB drive plugged into the system, its light pulsing like a heartbeat. The map showed missiles still drifting simulations. Thank God. But one wrong command could make them real. My mind raced. I could hit the emergency shutdown, but it'd take minutes. And Karen was steps from escaping. I could tackle her, but she was holding a taser, its blue arc crackling. My radio was useless. Her hack had jammed comms. "Why?" "Karen," I stalled, edging closer. "You're throwing away everything." She smirked, yanking the USB. "Everything I'm trading up. You soldiers play with toys. I sell them." She kicked a server, sparks flying, and bolted for the door. I dove after her, grabbing her arm. The taser grazed my side, pain searing through me, but I held on. We crashed into a rack, monitors shattering. "You're done," I gasped, wrestling for the USB. She clawed my face, but I ripped the drive free, smashing it under my boot. Karen screamed, a primal sound, and shoved me off, sprinting out. I staggered to the shutdown panel, slamming it. The alarms died, the map froze, but the damage was done. Trident was compromised. Karen's hack wasn't a spur-of-the-moment crime. It was a master plan. I later learned she'd been recruited by a dark web syndicate, hackers who sold military tech to rogue states. Her audits were a front, letting her map Trident's architecture. She'd planted backdoors months ago, stolen key cards, and bribed a guard for server access. The USB held a worm that could override missile controls, a digital key to global chaos. Her buyers, a mix of terrorists and shadow governments, ready to pay $500 million for Trident's secrets. The aftermath was a firestorm. Karen vanished, but her hack triggered alerts worldwide. Simulated missile paths hit X, tagged Wishosh Trident leak, with grainy screenshots of the control room. Panic spread, markets dipped, embassies evacuated. A NATO base in Germany was hit by a cyber attack using her code, crippling its defenses. The Pentagon locked down Ellsworth, and I was debriefed for hours. My every keystroke scrutinized. "You saw her and didn't stop her?" Chen asked, his voice heavy. I had no answer. My hesitation had nearly ended the world. Guilt was a vice around my chest. I replayed that dawn endlessly. Why hadn't I tackled her sooner? Why hadn't I trusted my instincts? The base was a ghost town. Morale shattered. I cooperated with the NSA, handing over logs I'd kept of Karen's odd queries, timestamps of her late-night logins. My body cam, miraculously intact, caught her taunting me. It wasn't enough to undo the chaos, but it pointed to her trail. Karen's reckoning came 3 months later. Interpol tracked her to a penthouse in Dubai, living off crypto from her buyers. A raid, broadcast live, showed her dragged out, screaming about setups. Karen wanted trended globally, with memes of her taser and hacked screens. Her laptop revealed her syndicate's network names, deals, plans for more hacks. She faced charges of cyber terrorism, espionage, and attempted mass murder. Extradition fights rage, but she was locked in a black site prison, her empire dust. The world didn't end, but it teetered. Trident was rebuilt, my patches sealing its flaws. I stayed on, promoted but haunted, training to never falter again. Chen retired, his faith in the system cracked. At night, I'd stare at the control room's new servers, their hum a reminder of what I'd almost lost. I'd stopped Karen's final move, but not her chaos. It wasn't victory, just a chance to keep fighting.